Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I've missed you guys so much. I am glad to be back here on the vlog channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my labor and delivery story. In case you guys haven't seen my labor and delivery vlog part 1 and part 2, I'll leave those two linked down below so you guys can go check them out. So get a snack, get comfy because this is probably going to be a very long one. I'm going to go in detail with everything that happened in my labor and delivery, things that you guys really didn't see in vlog part 1 and part 2. So get comfy because it's gonna be a long one. I gave birth May 27th, which was a Wednesday. Okay, we're gonna keep that in mind. That's when I gave birth. Now, a week prior to that, I had my 38-week appointment on a Tuesday. So on Tuesday, I went for my 38-week appointment. And everything was looking good. My blood pressure was fine. Baby's heartbeat was good. So on that appointment, me and my doctor were just chatting. We were talking. Now, why did we talk about getting induced? Was because with Liam, with my first pregnancy, I ended up getting induced at 37 weeks just because my blood pressure was extremely high. It was 188. But with baby number 2's pregnancy, my blood pressure was looking really good. But it was always something in the back of my mind that was telling me, oh my God, what if I go in and my blood pressure is like through the roof and I have to get induced? And that was just always something that was like in the back of my mind, just haunting me, you know? So we talked about it. She's like, have you thought about getting induced? And like, you know, something that you might want to think of. You don't have to. You can just go the regular route, just like all natural and wait for the baby. And I told her, okay, I'll think about it and I'll let you know on my 39 week. So that's how I left the appointment. I was also 1 centimeter dilated. And Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday passed by, and then comes Monday. On Monday, I receive a phone call early in the morning from my hospital, and they're like, hi, can we speak with da-da-da? And I was like, yes, this is she. She's like, oh, I'm calling because we would like for you to come get tested for the virus because you are scheduled to be induced on Wednesday morning. And I'm like picking up the phone. It's early in the morning. I'm like, wait, what? I'm sorry. Could you repeat that again? She's like, yeah, your doctor called that you're scheduled to be induced on Wednesday morning and we need you to come get tested for the virus on Tuesday morning. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. You probably have the wrong person. I talked with my doctor about getting induced, but we never came to a decision of getting induced. It's just something that we talked about. She's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. There was probably like a misunderstanding, but I just have you on the schedule for Wednesday. And I was like, you know what? I have an appointment tomorrow morning on Tuesday at 9:45. As soon as I get out of my appointment, I'll give you a call if I am getting induced. And then if I am, I'll go to the hospital, get tested for the virus, and then I'll get induced on Wednesday. But I'll let you know. I'll keep you updated. She's like, oh yeah, for sure. Just give me a call back and let me know what decision you made at the end by Tuesday morning. So Tuesday morning comes along and I go into my appointment, and as soon as my doctor walks in, she's like, I am so sorry. There was probably a misunderstanding. I scheduled you for Wednesday because that's what I had available, but I remember that we didn't come to a conclusion. In my mind, I thought we did, but I'm so sorry. And I'm like, oh no, you're fine. I'm like, I can get induced on Wednesday. Like, it won't be an issue. So keep in mind, Wednesday was the 27th and my due date was the 31st. So I was like, it's only 4 days away. I don't want to risk my blood pressure going up. It's because you guys don't understand. I was, and I still am, so traumatized with my first pregnancy just because the experience was just so traumatizing for me. So I was like, oh no, I can still get induced. She's like, you know what? Now I don't know if I will be able to fit you in the schedule because I'm off. I'm not on call on Thursday, so I would only have to fit you on Wednesday, and I don't know if I have space for you now. She tells me, you know what? We're going to give you a call by this afternoon. We'll let you know if you are getting induced or if you're not getting induced. We'll call you before 5 p.m. And I'm like, okay, great. So I leave home. I told Jason, I'm like, hey, you know what? They told me that I might or I might not get induced. I think like a whole thing went down in the hospital. It was just like a whole mess, a whole commotion. And I told Jason, they're going to call me before 5 p.m. and let me know if I am getting induced or if I'm not getting induced. So 3 p.m. passes by, and then the girl from the hospital calls me. She's like, hey, so did you end up deciding if you're gonna get induced or not? I'm so sorry to bother you, but you do need to get tested for the virus if you do plan on getting induced 24 hours before you get induced. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, I think there's like this whole misunderstanding going on because my doctor told me yes, and then she said no, and then she'll see if she can try to fit me in. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm just as confused as you are. So I have no idea if I am going to get induced or not. And so at this point, she's like, that's weird because I still have you on my schedule for tomorrow. She's like, but I guess they'll call me to take you off the schedule. She's like, either way, whether, you know, you end up getting induced or not, I hope you have a safe and good delivery. And I'm like, thank you. Me and her were both just so confused and just like, what the heck is going on, you know? So then 5:30 comes along and they never called me from the doctor. So I call my doctor's office and I'm like, hey, I was talking to my nurse. I left her a voice. I'm like, hey, I'm calling back because I never received a call back. So I'm guessing I'm not getting induced. Just letting you know that they called me from the hospital saying that they want me to go get tested for the virus, but I guess I won't. I'm like, I don't know. Can you just give me a call back tomorrow morning? At around 6:30, I think it was almost about to be 7 p.m. on Tuesday, I get a phone call. I pick up and it's my nurse. And she's like, hey, she's like, I'm so sorry. Doctor got backed up in the hospital. She was having so many deliveries. It was a busy day. But it turns out that you are getting induced tomorrow and we would like you to be at the hospital by 5:45 in the morning. And she's like, all right, see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's the big day. And then that was it. She hanged up on me. So at this point, we're all like freaking out, like, oh my God, the baby's gonna be here tomorrow. So I try to get some sleep, but it's impossible to sleep, guys. I shower, I'm just like tossing and turning in the bed. I'm just so nervous and anxious, you know? So around 4 in the morning, I wake up and I feel like completely wet from in between my legs. And I'm like, oh my God, my water probably just freaking broke. But there's like no puddle. It's just like in between my thighs that there's, I feel like it's wet in between my thighs. And I'm like, okay, my water never broke from Liam. So I have no idea what it feels like for your water to break. So I wake up and as soon as I like start waking up and start like moving, I feel like mini Braxton Hicks, like mini contractions. And I'm like, oh snap. It's probably gonna happen naturally. I'm probably not even gonna have to get induced, right? So I get up, I start balancing on my ball, and that's when Jason starts recording for the vlog. So at this point, I'm kind of like freaking out. I'm shaking. I'm like, oh my God, it's time. Like he's ready. He's gonna be here in a couple of hours. Let's go ahead and let's just start getting ready. Liam is still asleep. I wake up, I take a shower, I do my makeup, we get everything ready. We put Liam in the truck, we go drop him off with grandma, and we arrive at the hospital at exactly 5:46 in the morning. Then I check in, they give me a mask, they give Jason a mask, so like, okay, go up to floor number 3, labor and delivery. So I'm waiting at the front desk, they're gathering all of my information, then they take me to my room. As soon as I walk in the room, I'm like, oh snap, like this is starting to feel so real. So I put on my robe, I sit there, I'm just waiting, I try to walk around a little bit because I still have like mini contractions going on. So I'm like walking around, just like, you know, waiting for the nurse to come in, and then I hear someone just like put on like a whole suit, and I'm like, oh my God, I think they're gonna test me for the virus. And I'm scared because I've seen so many videos of how you get tested and like a whole swab goes through your nose, and I'm just like, oh my God, I am not ready for this. So she walks in with like a whole suit. She's like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and test you. It won't take that long, just take a couple of seconds, and then within 15 minutes they should be able to tell you your results if you're positive or negative. So she grabs the swab and it's like about this long. It's a huge swab, let me tell you. And she like shoves it in my nose. I don't feel it when it goes in. The worst pain is when she starts twisting it, like it touches the back of my nostril, like the very back. I don't know what it hit, girl. But she started twisting it and I started crying and I was just like, I feel like I was gonna choke or something. So then she takes it out. She's like, I know I did a good job when I make someone like get teary eyes. And I'm like, okay, bitch. Like, I guess, you know? So she takes the swab. She's like, all right, they'll be back in a couple of minutes to tell you your results. After that, I think like 30 minutes pass by and then the nurse comes in. Like, I had no idea who my nurse was. She comes in and she's like, oh, hi, my name is da-da-da. I'm here from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. I'm going to be here till 7 p.m. and I'm going to be your nurse. By the way, you came out negative for the virus, so that's good. And I'm like, okay, awesome. She's like, so your doctor should be coming in any minute now. She's going to talk to you, see what they're going to do and like all that stuff. She's like, for now, just go ahead and just sit here, just relax, watch some TV, and then they're gonna come by, give you all the instructions, show you how everything is gonna run down and like all that stuff. So then my doctor comes in, she's like, hi, good morning. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and check you to see how dilated you are. I'm like, okay, awesome. So she checks me to see how dilated I am, and she's like, oh, okay, it looks like you're 4 centimeters. So whenever I went into my appointment on Tuesday, I was 3 centimeters. 3 centimeters. So overnight I opened 1 centimeter. She's like, okay, I'm also gonna check if your water broke. So she's in there for like a good minute, like just like her hand shoving it in there. I can feel it. She's making movement. And then I start feeling like uncomfortable, like a little bit of pain, but not too much pain. And I'm like, oh my God, like she's taking forever to just check how dilated I am, right? And then she's like, okay, she takes off her gloves. She's like, well, they're gonna go ahead, put your IV, start your Pitocin, and I should be back by lunchtime to check on you to see how you're doing. And we're gonna have a baby by this afternoon. Then I told Jason, I'm like, oh my God, like she was in there for a while. He's like, yeah, she broke your water. And I'm like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, she broke your water. Like, did you not feel it? And I'm like, no. He's like, that's why they put like those towels underneath you. And I'm like, no freaking way. Did she just really break my water? He's like, yes, Rita, how did you not feel it? And I'm like, I felt a little bit of pain, but not like so much pain. I didn't even feel like warm water, because I remember with Liam, whenever they broke my water, I just felt like if I had peed on myself, like really warm water all over me. And with this baby, I didn't feel anything. I just felt like uncomfortable, but that was about it. I get up, and as soon as I get up, I'm leaking. I'm just leaking and gushing out. Things are just coming out, and I'm just like, oh my God, what the heck? Then the nurse comes in, and another nurse comes in. She's like, okay, they're gonna start working on your IV, and then after that, we're gonna go ahead and put your Pitocin. So she connects my Pitocin, and she starts it off at 2. So she starts it off at 2. They started the Pitocin at 8 in the morning. So I walked into the hospital at 5:46 in the morning, but they didn't start the Pitocin until 8 in the morning. So whenever the Pitocin starts, I ask her, can I still get up and go to the restroom? Because with my first pregnancy, I had a total different experience. As soon as I got admitted into the hospital, I was put in bed. They broke my water, and then they also gave me the epidural. So literally as soon as I got admitted into the hospital, I was just laying in that bed for 3 whole days. The contractions at 2 were not that bad, to be honest. They were still like, I can still like tolerate them. They weren't that bad. So at 4, I was like, oh, I was just rocking my hips side to side. I was like, oh, it's a little painful, but I can still tolerate it. Now she cranked it up to 6 after that. At 6, it started getting a little bit more intense. It was starting to get a little bit hard for me to breathe through the contractions, to be honest. Nothing that I couldn't tolerate, like, oh my God, I need the epidural right now, but they were slowly getting more and more intense. So at this point, I'm like rocking side to side. I'm putting like relaxing, peaceful music on YouTube, trying to just like breathe through it, trying to just sing like, just like trying to calm myself down. Like, it's okay, you got this. So at this point, my nurse walks in and she's like, are you ready for the epidural? Like, you can get it whenever you want to. Like, you know, you won't get an award whether you get it or you don't get it. So I guess you probably thought like I was trying to be tough and not get the epidural. But me personally, I think whether you get the epidural or you don't get the epidural, it doesn't make you less or more of a woman. I know there's a lot of different like opinions, like, oh, if you get the epidural, you're not enough of a woman and like all this stuff. To be honest, I feel like if it's there to help you, might as well get it, like, you know? So I feel like if you get the epidural or you don't get it, again, it doesn't make you more or less of a woman. Like, we're still all strong bitches for giving birth to babies, to be honest. So I'm like, no, I am gonna get it. And I'm like, but just not right now. I still want to move around. I'm like, because if I do get the epidural, I'm gonna have to be laying in bed, right? She's like, yeah, you are. You're gonna have to just be laying down because your legs are gonna go numb, and then we're gonna have to put the catheter in. And I'm like, oh no, I got this. I just want to be up for a little bit longer, and then I'll get the epidural. I'm like, but if you crank it up to 8, they're gonna get a little bit more intense, right? She's like, yeah. If I put it up to 8, they're gonna get more intense. And I'm like, okay. So then as soon as I'm telling her that, a contraction comes in, and that contraction was hella strong. And I'm like, you know what? I want the epidural. So she's like, okay, good. I'll go get everything ready for the epidural and get them started and like all that stuff. So then she cranks it up, boom, she cranks it up to 8. And then the contractions start coming in a little bit more intense. And I'm like, ooh, okay, these are intense. And if you know contraction, a contraction starts from the back and works yourself through like your belly. At least that's how it felt for me. It felt like it just traveled from my back all the way to down here. So then they come in, they start prepping everything for the epidural, and like they're just like, okay, we're gonna go ahead and raise up the bed. You're gonna hunch over, hug the pillow, don't move. They make me sign like all these papers. They explain to me how the epidural is gonna work and all that stuff. And so then she tells me, she's like, okay, now that you have the epidural, you're gonna be able to get some rest. Usually a lot of people, once they get the epidural, they're able to sleep, and that's good because we want you to rest before you start pushing so you can have a lot of energy when it comes to pushing. I'm like, okay, good. And I'm like, hey, by the way, can I have the peanut ball? So I knew I was already going to be laying down in bed, and the peanut ball really helped me with my first pregnancy to open up. And then the contractions started getting a little bit more intense, and also the pressure. Like, I just felt like, boop, pressure down there, you know? And then after that, my nurse walks in and she's like, hi, I'm back. She's like, so sorry I left you alone for such a long time, but I'm back. She's like, how are we doing? And I'm like, I'm doing good. I'm just feeling a lot of pressure. I'm feeling a lot of pressure since you cranked it up to 8, but it should be getting better with the epidural. She's like, oh yeah, like whenever you need it, just press the button, girl. Like, don't be shy. And in my mind, I was like, don't be shy, press some more. So I try to get some sleep, guys, and I still have the peanut ball in between my legs. I try to get some sleep, but I can't because the pressure is getting so intense, guys. It wasn't so much the contractions now because I feel like the epidural did such a good job at just numbing the contraction. It was just the pressure. Like, I felt like I was gonna take a huge, you know what, like I felt like I needed to go to the restroom. Like, it was just so much pressure down there. So then a couple of minutes pass by and the contractions get more and more intense. And so I tell her, and I'm like, I feel like I opened up a lot already. Can you please check? So she checks. She's like, okay, you're 7 centimeters dilated already. That's really good. She's like, let's go ahead and flip you to the other side with the peanut balls to see if you can open up a little bit faster. So then she flips me over, but the baby's heartbeat starts slowing down a little bit. She's like, oh no, that's not good. Let's flip you over to the right side again because it seems like he doesn't really like the left side. She leaves and I just stay there for more minutes, or it might have been hours. Honestly, I don't remember, guys. So I was just laying there and I was eating crushed ice, and then I started feeling good for a little bit, and then the pressure started coming again. She comes back again and I tell her, I'm like, oh my God, I have to push. Like, the pressure is so bad. She's like, I'm so sorry. She's like, but if I keep checking you, I'm scared I might cause an infection down there, and we don't want that right now. And I tell her, and I'm like, but it's really bad. Like, I honestly feel like I need to push. So then she checks me, and from the minute she left and came back, she's like, you're already 9 centimeters dilated. So this baby was moving fast. So she's like, okay, she's like, there's this little part on top of your cervix that is not completely like going all the way up. That was like the one thing I didn't understand what she was talking about. I was like, I don't know what you're saying, but I need to get this baby out already. She's like, there's this one little part on top of your cervix that is not completely ready yet, and I don't know if the doctor's gonna want you to wait till that completely like moves away from like where it's at, or if she's gonna want you to still push. She's like, you know what, let me go ahead and call your doctor in. So she calls the doctor, and I'm just laying there. I'm laying, and I think she takes probably like about an hour to come in, the doctor. So I'm just laying there, and she comes in. She comes in and she's like, what's going on? And I'm like, I have to push, doctor. Like, the pressure is so much down there. Like, it's just so intense, you know, like I just can't no more. I feel like I have to push, and I feel like the baby's probably ready to come out. So she looks at me. She's like, I was going to give you more medicine, but you know what? Let's just have a baby right now. Get everything ready. They started talking in like their own language and like saying like all these big ass words and like all this stuff. And they just start gearing up. Like, I hear the backs just tearing, tables start coming in, a whole bunch of nurses walking in. There were so many nurses in my room. I had no idea why, but there were so many of them. They just came out of the nowhere. They just started coming out of rooms and doors and like all this stuff. So then they take away the bottom piece from the bed. They take out the little things where you put your legs. They put my legs up there. And at this point, Jason forgot about filming. Like, he forgot about recording for the vlog. He was just there with me, like holding my hand, telling me, you got this, baby. Just breathe, breathe, breathe. At this moment, like, my doctor barely sits down. She sits down in her little chair, and I'm like, I have to push. And she's like, you have to push. And I'm like, I have to push. She's like, okay, there's a contraction coming in. Push. I push, and they count from 1 to 10. They're like, okay, go ahead, push, 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 push. And like, okay, go again, push. Another 10 seconds. They're like, okay, go ahead, push for another 10 seconds. And then I'm like, oh. I let go, and they're like, okay, here we go. You're doing really, really, really good. Let's push again. So then I push again for 10 seconds. And then the second push, I feel something like, boop, just got stuck there. And she's like, oh my gosh. She's like, you're doing so good. When his head gets stuck there, I feel like my lips are on fire, which is why now I know they call it the ring of fire. I was just like, oh my God, this is so painful. Like, there's like a burning sensation. What the heck is going on? This is so painful. I didn't feel that with Liam, let me tell you that. So then, to make it even worse, she takes her fingers and she's moving her fingers around like my lips. Oh my God. And of course, the gloves are made out of latex, and I feel the latex just burning more in my lips, and like, oh, it was just so bad, guys. I pushed one more time, and she's like, you're doing so good. And I still felt like down there was on fire. She's like, okay, we're gonna go ahead and wait for the third contraction. I was like, oh, absolutely not. I am not waiting for the third contraction. Nope, absolutely not. And I'm like, I have to push now. She's like, no, you have to wait for a third contraction. I'm like, no, can I push? I have to push now. I have to. She's like, okay, if you can push, then push. So I push the first time. She's like, you're doing so good. Push, 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 push. And then she tells me to push again. And then she says, you're going to have to push out the shoulders. When the shoulders came out, guys, it was such a relief to me, but it was also the most painful thing ever, because the whole shoulders came out and it hurt so much that I literally screamed. And you guys will see in the video how I screamed, and a lot of you guys in the comment section were like, oh my God, I had to turn my volume down so my parents wouldn't think wrong and like all this stuff. After he came out, they started like cleaning him, and they like tear apart my my robe, and they put him in my chest. And as soon as they put him in my chest, he stops crying. Like I can hear him cry a little bit, but not too much. And then they're like, okay, can we take him away? So they take him away. They're like, okay. I start hearing them like mumbling in between them, like all the nurses like talking, like saying like all this stuff. And I'm just like, is he okay? Is he okay? And then after that, they're like, he's not crying as much as we would like him to cry, because we want a hard cry to come out of him to make sure that he's healthy, he's doing fine. They're like, but he might have some liquid in his lungs. We might have to just like, what was the word she said? We're gonna have to suction everything like out of his lungs. Like he should be fine, but we're gonna go ahead and take him over to the side. So they take him to like the little bed that they have, like the bed warmer where they put them and like measure them, like all that stuff. They moved him over there, and after that, like after Jason heard that, he dropped the camera, he turned it off, and he was like, what is going on? So we're like, what's going on? I'm laying in bed and I'm just like, where's the baby? I keep looking towards him, and then my doctor tells me, she's like, okay, I'm gonna take out the placenta. So she takes out the placenta. When she takes out the placenta, I feel like such a relief. And then she asked me what I wanted to do with my placenta, and I was like, nothing really. Like, I really don't want my placenta. Now I know that you can encapsulate it and put it in pills, and like I didn't know all that stuff. They asked me what I wanted to do with my placenta. I said nothing, so they, you know, took away everything. And then she's like, oh, that's really good. No stitches. He didn't tear you at all. That's really, really good. Now she's gonna go ahead and just, you know, rinse you and wash you with just warm water with soap. So then she starts cleaning me. I feel like she's cleaning me and like getting everything ready. And then they put my feet down, and they start cleaning the entire room, all that stuff. And I still see them that they are just, you know, trying to just make the baby cry more and like all this stuff. And then I hear them, they're like, can you call the NICU team in so they can come ahead and just start like suctioning him? And when I hear call the NICU team, I start freaking out, and I'm like, what is going on? Why do they need NICU? Like, why are they calling them? Like, you know? And so I freak out. I'm like, what's going on? Like, is he okay? Like, you guys are not telling me anything. And she's like, no, he's fine. Like, don't worry, but we're going to have to call NICU. And they're going to have to take him away for a couple of minutes, but you'll probably have him back within a few hours. Or like, but if he doesn't get better, he's probably going to have to stay in NICU. But either way, he's fine. Don't worry. And I'm like, oh, how do you not want me to worry if you're telling me that he might stay in NICU? Like, I'm freaking out. I can't get up. I can't do anything. I'm laying in bed. And then after that, they told Jason, hey, Dad, if you want, you can come along with us. You won't be able to go inside, but you can view everything and watch what we're doing from the window. So I told Jason, like, yes, go, leave. Like, don't worry about vlogging. Don't worry about anything no more. Just go with him. So then he leaves. I stay in the room by myself. He was born at 4:33 p.m., guys. His weight was 7 pounds 15 ounces, 21 inches long. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna be a tall boy. They walk in with the baby. Jason walks in and they're like, oh my God, congratulations, he's here, he's doing fine now. She started explaining to me, she's like, it's because sometimes there's babies that don't adapt right away as soon as they come out of your womb. Like, it takes them a little bit of time to just adapt and to like understand that they have to do everything on their own. She's like, but you know, NICU checked him, we all checked him, he's perfectly fine now, so you're good to go. She's like, you can do skin to skin with him right now if you want, or you can finish eating. You can also just like go ahead and breastfeed him if you want. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'll go ahead and eat later. So I left everything to the side. I did skin to skin with him. So I did skin to skin, and then I started breastfeeding him. It was the most amazing feeling ever to have him back and to hear that everything was back to normal and that he was doing so fine. Like, for a good probably like 3 hours, I was scared. Like 2.5 hours, I was scared. I just didn't know what was going on. I felt so lost and I felt like so helpless, you know. But yeah, they were like, he's doing fine now. So I did skin to skin. I breastfed him. I finished eating. And they're like, okay, we're going to go ahead and move you to your recovery room. So they come in, they take me in a wheelchair. They put me to my postpartum room. And then after that, I am just there in my postpartum room, just trying to sleep, just recover, and just trying to rest, because honestly, like, I feel like everything happened so fast. So I know I asked a lot of people, like, should I get induced? Should I not get induced? A lot of people were like, oh my God, don't get induced. Worst experience ever. It was so painful. Like, you know, like all this stuff. For me personally, I would have to say that was not bad. Probably for me, getting induced was the best choice for me to do. I mean, it was only 4 days away. I gave birth on the 27th. My due date was the 31st. So for me, my experience with this labor was so much better compared to my first experience with Liam. Because if you guys haven't seen that video, I'll leave a link down below. But basically, I was in labor for almost 4 days, just laying in bed. And it was so bad. And I pushed for almost 3.5 something hours, and my contractions went from being 1 minute apart to 10 minutes apart. And with this baby, I only did 3 sets of pushes and he was out. So if you ask me, this delivery was so much easier and smoother than my first one. So that's basically how everything went down, guys. I feel like everything happened so fast. Like, they started the Pitocin at 8, and at 4:33 p.m. he was already born. And then by 7 p.m. they moved me to my recovery room. And then the next day, I basically was just in bed all day, just breastfeeding him, trying to learn how to latch him on, talking to lactation, just relaxing, sleeping, like all that stuff. And then the following day after that is when I picked up the vlog for you guys. And that was part 2, I believe, from the labor and delivery vlog, which again, I'll leave a link down below. But yeah, guys, that was basically my labor and delivery. I'm honestly happy with the outcome. I feel like I suffered, but I didn't suffer a lot compared to like Liam. I was talking to Jason. He's like, so how would you explain the difference? And with Liam's labor and delivery experience, I want to say it was probably painful for me, really painful, but I was so out of it, guys, because I was on so much medication. Like, I had so much medication in my system that I'm telling you, I didn't even feel when they put the epidural in. I didn't even feel like a lot of the stuff, because like my whole body was completely numb because of so many medications. I was so out of it, and you know, so with Liam, I probably was in a lot of pain, but I was so numb, and it was just so many days in the hospital that I was already like worn out. I was tired, and like all this stuff. I was just like, I can't do this no more. And with this pregnancy, it was really painful. Like, the pressure was really painful, but everything went by so fast that I was just like, okay, we're in and out of the hospital, you know? And so every labor and delivery experience is totally different. But I would have to say, for me, the best one and the fastest one was probably with this baby. But yeah, guys, that's basically my labor and delivery story. That was my experience. I hope I don't scare any like new moms out there that are about to give birth now. Like, don't be scared, guys. Everyone's labor and delivery is super different. You know, everyone also tolerates pain totally different and like all that stuff. But if you guys just gave birth, because I know I have so many of you guys that were super close to me, if you guys just gave birth, or if you just want to share your story with me in the comments down below, let me know, because I always love to like go through the comments and read through your guys' stories, and like, you know, because I honestly feel like we're friends. Like, and when I read like stories like that, I feel like I'm closer to you guys, because I feel like I know you guys a little bit better, and like I always share with you guys like my life and like my story. So I always think it's pretty cool, like whenever you guys share with me like, oh Peta, like I had my baby like a day after you, or like the same thing happened to me, like all this stuff. So if you guys want to share with you guys like a quick little summary of your labor and delivery story with me, leave it in the comments down below. I would totally appreciate it, and I would love to read through the comments and read everything. Oh, let me go ahead and let me text Jason so he can bring the baby so you guys can go ahead and see him, because I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys, probably a lot of you guys already saw him. A lot of you guys probably haven't seen him, but I'll bring him up here so you guys can meet him. And also, in the next vlog, stay tuned, because I will be revealing his name for you guys. So, I'm vlogging tomorrow. I'm super excited. I'm going to be doing the name reveal, because a lot of you guys are like, oh my god, Peta, please tell us his name, and like all this stuff. And I also have to do a story time, because we had a name for him, and then we ended up changing it at the last minute. it was a hot mess, girl, to be honest. But yeah, tomorrow I'll vlog for you guys and I'll do the name reveal and like all that stuff. But let me go ahead, let me tell Jason to bring him up. So I have baby A here with me. He is sleeping. Look how tiny he is. Well, not even tiny. He's tiny to me, but he's such a big boy. Like I told you guys, he measured 21 inches, guys. So this is baby A. In the next vlog that you guys will see, you guys will know his name. But I just wanted you guys to see him because maybe some of you guys haven't seen him on my social medias, or you guys haven't seen the other vlog, part 1 and part 2. So this is baby A, guys. He was born on the 27th. So how many days is he today? I think he's almost like 2 weeks old. Yes, he's 2 weeks old tomorrow. That's crazy. What? So this is baby A, guys. I just wanted to introduce you guys to him. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a huge thumbs up. And also, if you want to be part of our family and join us on this new journey, click the subscribe button so you guys can go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell so I can notify you whenever we post a brand new vlog. We love you guys so much, and we will see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye, guys.